Lasagna soup has all the traditional flavors of lasagna, but made in a soup form. And this cozy version involves no layering, minimal prep work, and the best part is your family is just going to love it. And I know I am kind of late to this lasagna soup trend. I've been seeing it posted everywhere for quite a while now, but better late than never, right? Okay, so first things first, we're gonna grate up some cheese. This is gonna be about 2 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. Just like in lasagna is very cheesy, and this soup is gonna be cheesy. And the best part is we can control how much cheese you want to put into it. And traditionally, lasagna does contain ricotta cheese, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of ricotta cheese. But if you want to, you can add some of it to your soup. I would just kind of season it first with some salt and pepper, maybe some garlic powder, because ricotta cheese to me is just a very, very bland and it kind of needs some help. And I also have another version of lasagna. It's called skillet lasagna, and it's really easy if you want to check that out. All right, so we are done grating up our cheese. I have quite a bit here, and I'm going to grab the rest of the ingredients that we're going to be needing for the recipe. So I've tested this recipe out a couple times. The first time I had the noodles cooking up in the soup, and I just felt like over time the noodles got really swollen. They absorbed so much liquid, and I kept having to add broth to the soup. So the second time I cooked up the noodles separate, and I just added them at the end of this when the soup was done cooking, and we like that version much better. So we're gonna stick to that version. So instead of lasagna noodles, I use rigatoni noodles. I like to use a short pasta for this soup, and rigatoni noodles just holds up nice in the soup, and my kids just really love this shape of pasta. So we're gonna need about 3/4 of this bag, and then we're gonna cook that up separately. And then we are also going to be needing some minced garlic. I have 4 cloves here. I have 1 diced onion. I have 6 tablespoons of tomato paste. I have a can of crushed tomatoes. We're gonna be using this entire carton of chicken broth. And then to season it up, I have some dried basil and some dried oregano. Okay, we are ready to get cooking. Let's head over to the stove. All right, so I've got a pot with some oil in it, and I've heated to medium-high heat. And I totally forgot to mention to you guys that we are going to be needing a pound of ground beef. It was in the fridge and I forgot to take it out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and brown up 1 pound of ground beef. And I'm just gonna cook it until it's cooked through. All right, so our beef is pretty much browned. If you want, you can go ahead and drain the excess fat if you're using a beef with a higher fat content, but my beef is only 90%, so I don't feel the need to drain it. So now I'm gonna go in with the onions and the minced garlic. Also going in with some salt. And I want the onions to get nice and softened, so I'll cook this down for about 3 minutes. Time to go in with the tomato paste, the canned crushed tomatoes. A lot of tomato action going in here. Let me give it a stir. And since we are turning this into a soup, we're adding in quite a bit of chicken broth. Let's give it another mix. So for our seasonings, 1.5 teaspoons of oregano, 1.5 teaspoons of basil, dried basil that is. Lots of salt, lots of fresh ground pepper. And if you're like me and you love your pasta like very saucy, I just love it very saucy, then this soup is for you because you won't have any dry pasta. It's just gonna be very saucy. All right, so it has come to a full-on boil. What I'm going to do is lower the heat to medium-low, and then we're gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes to get the flavors all nice and married together. So I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. All right, so our soup has been simmering for about 15 minutes. It is looking good. All the flavors are just getting, like I said, married together. And at this point, you wanna go ahead and check your seasonings. Perfection. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to build our lasagna soup. All right, so we have our rigatoni noodles that I boiled in salted water, and I cooked it according to the package. And this is important, while your soup is hot, you wanna go ahead and ladle it over your noodles. Well, I'm kind of spilling, but that's totally fine. And you wanna do this hot because when we add our cheese, We want our cheese to get nice and melted. So our soup is nice, rich, and delicious. Let's go in with our cheese. Lots of shredded mozzarella cheese. And we want the residual heat from the soup to get it melted. And this part is optional. I have some grated mozzarella, not mozzarella. I have some shredded Parmesan cheese as well. And since this bowl is just for me and not my kids, some crushed red peppers. And voila, lasagna soup. All right, you guys, you know what time it is. It is my favorite time. It is time for the taste test. And I told my son that I was making a video on this today, and he was super excited to have this for dinner because he just loves it. Okay, enough talking. Let's get on with the show. All right, so I'm gonna get a nice, oh God, look at this cheese pull, you guys. Look at this deliciousness. Cheers, you guys. So rich and satisfying. Like I mentioned, all the delicious flavors of a lasagna, but in a soup form. So like I said, if you like saucy pasta, this soup is for you. It's so delicious. It's nice and rich and tomatoey and tangy and all the good stuff and cheesy, and I put a lot of cheese in mine. But anyways, make this for your family. They are going to love it. Thank you for spending time with me in my kitchen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys make this recipe. Make sure to like and subscribe. That will definitely help me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.